found Carbone in the meat truck. He was frozen so stiff it took them 2 days to thaw him out for the autopsy.
Who was Frankie Carbone? Frankie Carbone is based on Angelo Sepe, a member of the Lucchese family and close friend of Tommy DeSimone, Jimmy Burke and Tony Rodriguez, and who reportedly killed a week after robbing after Lucchese affiliate drug trafficking of thousands of dollars in cocaine and cash earmarked for the organization. Born and raised in South Ocean Park, Queens, New York, Sepe was known to have attended Shallow Junior High School and New Utrecht High School, possessing an unkempt appearance and short temper. Sepe was expelled from Shallow Junior High School for truancy and violent behavior. Later, Sepe reported attended New Utrecht High School, where he was again expelled for the same behavior. During the same period, Sepe began his criminal career as a juvenile delinquent by committing petty crimes and other small crimes with the street gang, the Rampers. Eventually, a mercy 14 recorded arrest by the age of 18. It was also during this time that Sepe was introduced to the organized crime through Thomas and Ralph Sparrow, his uncles by marriage, and Colombo family members themselves. As Sepe grew up into adulthood, he became engaged and subsequently wed the sister of a Colombo family associate, Tony Rodriguez. Despite a turbulent and often a violent marriage in which Sepe was the aggressor, he began courting Juan Lombardo, age 17, of Long Island City, Queens. Despite an unwritten La Costa Nostra protocol to remain with your spouse, Sepe divorced his wife and eventually took up the residence with Mrs. Lombardo, scraping together a living transport truck and hijackings. Regardless of Sepe's financial status, he was reported to have been a heavy cocaine user, indulging in more than 2 grams a day. Angelo first came under attention of Jimmy Burke with the help of Tommaso DeSimone. Jimmy and Paul Vario were always looking for a young man who knew how to be brutal but the moment demanded drastic action. Jimmy began giving Angelo odd jobs, and it was promised by Jimmy that he would introduce him to his capo Paul Vario after his transfer to the Lucchese family. Sepe became a member of the crew headed by Paul Vario. Angelo was a friend of fellow hitman Tommy DeSimone. Sepe helped murder Colonel Edwards with Tommy DeSimone, allegedly, and helped him by the murder at least the first attempt to murder Martin Krugman. This attempt was later called off by Burke. Jimmy Burke was convinced by Henry Hill to spare him because the money was earning through his successful bookmaking and loan sharking racket. Jimmy Burke and Tommy DeSimone would later follow through with the plan and murder Krugman. A short while later, shortly before Sepe's murder, he bought a 1979 Thunderbird for $15,000 cash. This attracted the attention of the police for his role in the murder. He also suspected of being involved in helping Jimmy Burke the murder of frontman and con artist Richard Eden. Before he was murdered, he was being charged for having possession of a concealed weapon. Following the Lufthansa heist in its alleged, he accompanied Tommy DeSimone to an apartment of over Stack Edwards, where Tommy DeSimone fired 6 bullets in the head and chest of Edwards. On the orders of Jimmy Burke, he also helped Simone murder Martin Krugman, Teresa Ferreira, and Paolo Nicastri, and supposedly Louis Cavaro and his wife Joanne, on the orders of Jimmy Burke, including a warehouse foreman with DeSimone in Morristown, New Jersey. The character Frankie Carbone was based on Sepe and was portrayed by actor Frank Severo in the movie Goodfellas. In the film, Frankie is involved in Lufthansa heist and accompanies Tommy on the murder of Colonel Edwards. A major difference is that the film Frankie was killed by James Burke and discovered frozen solid in a meat truck. In real life, Richie Eaton was the one who was killed by Burke and left in a meat truck. Sepe was one of the only 3 of the 4 people involved in Lufthansa heist not killed by Burke to distance himself from the robbery. July 18, 1984, Burke crew member Angelo Sepe and his girlfriend Joanna Lombardo are killed in Sepe's apartment after Sepe outraged Lucchese crime family administered by brazen robbery of mob back and drug dealers. Sepe was one of the stick men in the heist and has been on the front lines of Burke's wipeout of his conspirators in the Lufthansa job. Angelo Sepe was 42 years old.
Frank, let's chop him up.
Alright.
Where you going, you
What?
dizzy motherfucker? You.
I thought you
Come
said
on.
chop him up.
Oh, but Charlie's not here. Where the fuck
Charlie.
are you gonna chop him in?
Alright.
Come on, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of here.
Alright, my bad.
You got a better shot letting him fucking drive. What are you waiting for?
Wait, the car's cold.
Get the fuck out of here. What? Fucking warm it up. Get out of here.